Welcome back into Pattrn. Thanks for sticking with us. Now, you've probably never heard of the green crab, but yeah, me neither. They cause some pretty big problems. They're one of the most invasive marine species, according to NOAA.
Yes, and so what's one way to deal with an invasive species? We do this. We catch them, we cook them, and we turn them into whiskey. So we got Will Robinson from Tamworth Distilling joining us to talk about what's called crab whiskey. What a unique idea. And I know the first thing is, well, let's get to the history of it, and we'll talk about how the creation is. So break down the green crab. A lot of us haven't heard about this crab. It's a big problem.
Yeah, so here on the East Coast, they've been kind of endemic here for about 200 years, coming over in the wastewater and sailing ships from the coast of Europe. So they're not part of our ecosystem. And now as our ocean temperatures are warming a little bit, we're getting less freezing in the estuaries, their numbers are just exploding. And they have a tendency to feed on bivalves and other crabs, other invertebrate species such as scallops and oysters, and so they're just becoming a real nuisance, a real issue.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, of course. So then you got to figure out something to do with them. So how do you turn a crab into alcohol?
Well, you might can see over my right shoulder here, kind of a funky lab-looking glassware, whatnot. It's actually referred to as a vacuum still. So we, in the case of our crabs, we make a stock just like you would if you were cooking them in a soup. Then we remove the solids and we add a little bit of, we fortify it with a little bit of our neutral grain spirit, which is like a base ethanol we use for vodka and such. Then we distill it on the still behind me and capture that distillate, and we use that as to flavor a 4-year-old bourbon reserve, along with a spice blend, American East Coast kind of traditional spice blend, about 8 different spices. And it worked out pretty well.
Great. Yeah, and the response? I mean, are people enjoying it?
It's been off the charts. I mean, it's here I am talking to you guys here on the Weather Channel. So it's kind of been an amazing response. We're very excited about it.
Yeah, you got that salty flair in there, right? So you taste the whiskey, and then what? You got like the secondary version of a little crab, a little salt on the tail end of it?
Yeah, so I used to work, I'm from the Deep South originally, and I did a lot of cooking with seafood in the past. And so I delved really deeply into the history of the East Coast kind of seafood spice blend. You guys are probably familiar with Zatarain's or Old Bay. And kind of mixed up my own version with paprika and bay leaves, allspice, cinnamon, clove, mustard seed, dill seed, coriander. And got that to balance all out. And it was really interesting seeing how those spices have been chosen over the years to kind of work to curb what might be the edginess of seafood.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about the flavors and the taste. For inquiring minds who want to know, because we do have a bottle sitting here with us, what would you pair with this? What would you say is like the perfect pairing to go with some crab whiskey?
The whiskey on itself is actually a little bit sweet, and so I like it as at the end of dinner. On some rocks, maybe a little bit of water to let it open up some, and to sit around and sip with some friends. After you're done eating at the end of the evening.
Hey, real quick, we got to wrap up, but I'm just curious: is this actually helping the problem with the invasive species? You think?
I think the awareness that it's brought about is definitely going to help the problem. We worked with UNH's Sea Grant. In order to kind of tie in with the industry. And obviously the numbers of crabs we go through will never touch what needs to happen, but just bringing that awareness has done a whole lot.
Cool.
Oh, well, you get a great thing out of some awareness
Comes a little
as well.
crab case too. We like it. That was Will Robinson. Thank you so much. Tamworth Distilling joining us. And yeah, I guess it's taken off from him. How cool is that?